Osiris, do you remember when we knew?
Knew what?
That we were meant to be together. There was one moment, though it took us time to get to it. But our Hunter Vanguard, so smart, Tallulah. She knew before we did. All our little squabbles and bickering, she saw it first.
Well, I was obtuse, stubborn. I couldn't recognize my own emotions. Then Tallulah told me to be serious.
I remember. Oh yeah, she told me later. Was a good laugh.
I'm glad you found it so amusing.
Who could not look back and smile? And I remember your smile then. So knowing, and so full of our future together.
What brought these memories on?
I think about others who will have those same moments now that they know they will have a future free from the Black Fleet. Now they have a chance to find love and be happy. Like us. We can look behind, but also forward. We cannot see what is coming, but we know it is good.
You're certain?
About us? Yes, since the beginning. Now and always.
Captain, I've checked your messages for you. There are none.
I know how that feels.
So, I wrote you one myself. Dear current living captain, after the Cabal dropped a tank on Nessus, and you ignored me the whole time, I thought we had beef.
Let's just say it's a good thing my armory exploded when I crashed here.
But now you're back, and we're partners again. So I forgive you. Please don't leave.
Our research has been the most eventful and fulfilling time I've had in centuries of silent abandonment. It's good to be part of a team again.
And Captain, remember, you're part of the team too.
I know what it's like to have to be the strong, silent type. Through no choice of my own. Anyway, if you ever want to chat with someone who's a good listener, I'm a good listener. And I have a lot of free time. Don't be a stranger.
I read your theories about Nessus. I share your concerns.
It is changing rapidly. More so than when the Vex first assimilated it. If Red War records can be trusted. It's not limited to Nessus, either. The data and the radiolaria we've collected is mutating. Not a past iteration sweeping over the present Vex. As if they'd always been that way. They are now adapting in real time.
It has to be the impact anomaly. Geppetto managed to map the radiolaria flows while Saint was down there. They're swirling around the impact site for miles below the surface. It's causing disturbances in the planet's EM field, Osiris. The Vex are doing something big.
A test. One that will cost them greatly.
Is he... Do you need anything?
I appreciate your support, but let us focus on this. Saint spoke of a singular voice directing him, a conductor, not a collective. Subterfuge and manipulation are not how the Vex operate. They are cunning, but blunt in their confidence.
You think this test belies a deeper truth?
They coalesce around the impact site, around one point. Something has changed. More than the Vex themselves. What if they found a new leader?
That was my fear as well. I doubt their motives are benign.
Yes. And we will meet them in kind. You're only doing this to hurt yourself, and I will not be a part of it.
Osiris, answer the question. I need to know.
It doesn't matter. Not like this.
It matters to me. Please. How did I first tell you that I loved you?
Saint. You had asked me for something, some tactical report. I gave it to you, and you thanked me, and you said that you loved me. You said it as if you had already said it 1,000 times before. I was not ready to say it in return, but it was not long until I was.
That is not... I do not remember it this way. That is not what happened in my simulation. We were together in the tower, overlooking the city, talking about something small. And I said what I felt in that moment. And my Osiris did not hesitate to say the same.
Your Osiris? Saint, you love me. It doesn't matter how it or where that began, not in such fine detail. Saint!
Guardian, since you found me, I have only doubted who I was once. When Mithrax recounted how his people, their children, feared me, it shook me. Osiris says that I am Saint 14. My hands raised the wall. I walked with the Pilgrim Guard. How can I be a shadow of the saint who truly walked the city when I remember the smells of the streets and the faces that smile? I met you on Mercury as I speak to you now. We fought together. I shattered the Vags for centuries, but I lived where he died. Because we showed the Vags that our fate could not be calculated. Even in simulation, we surprised them, you and I. That is true. The conductor claims I am a man out of time, an approximation of reality. Was I not this already? Hard metal and brittle memory, spark and code 14 times over. Only my heart carried through. I know what it means to find myself again. But the conductor claims had Osiris not created the sundial, had I remained forgotten, Sagira would live still. How could these things be connected? If it is true, I will not take my love from him as well, for it is strong, and he will need it. You would not be afraid. You would know what to do. I am still trying. But I will find myself again.
The research on Neomuna's Veil facility is complete. As the report is lengthy, I will summarize. Maya Sandarish and Chioma Essie were a married pair of researchers in the Golden Age. Their work often touched on the Vex. They found an object on Neptune that whispered to Maya in her own voice. That artifact, the Veil, is of the darkness, as the Traveler is of the light. Maya grew obsessed with it. Chioma grew afraid. In her compulsion to study the Veil, Maya took no heed of any risks or of Chioma's doubts. Humans under her command died. Exominds were wiped. Maya wanted a chorus that could channel the power of the Veil. And to control that chorus, she built an imprint of herself named Lakshmi. Soon afterwards, Maya entered the Vex network. She left no trace. Chioma exiled Lakshmi, shut down all Veil research, and redacted it from Neomuna's history. In a final act, Chioma entered the network herself. Other Mayas and Chiomas were already inside, simulated hundreds of times by the Vex. It's possible that the Echo brought many Mayas together into the Conductor. Or perhaps only the first. There is no way to know which, if any, directed the Conductor's actions. But it would be folly to underestimate any Maya Sandarish.
It's not too late to accept. Everything I do is for the sake of a second golden age. A return to what we have all lost. The Witness's failure showed that homogeny is fragile. Strength rises from individuality. It rejected the lesson of its own memory. Commander Takal's strength was their individual perspective. Their skill at directing an army. Not a hive mind. The echo of command and I were equally shapeless before we joined. It reformed my consciousness even as I made it into my mantle. Power joined to individual will. This is the key. Commander Takal lacked one, and the Witness lacked the other. I hold both. With the echo, I encouraged my Vex's individuality. I commanded your ally. With more application, could anything lie beyond my reach? I have the will and power to create a new golden age. I am no tyrant. The conductor listens to her chorus. Join it and be heard. I'm sure we'd both prefer you make that choice for yourself. But believe me, that isn't necessary.
Guardian, we have managed to decrypt another personal log taken from Maya Sanderish's domain. At first, we discovered the method of her search, but we were mistaken as to what she was looking for. Now we understand. Here, listen.
Maya Sandrash. Personal log. Incidental. The variances have been outside of acceptable bounds on each attempt. Incomplete or divergent memories. Outsized or diminished emotional responses. These forgeries are not my tumor. The memories are baseline. There are other timelines that mirror this one so closely that my interrogation would not, by itself, yield my tumor. They all loved me. They all remembered the name of our daughter. That isn't the point. My tumor would understand what I'm doing here. All she needs to do is look at the state of soul since our time on New Mona. The mistake of the collapse, Clovis's hubris, the revelation of the Witness. My tumor would see me as a savior, and that she and I have a chance to rescue humanity from itself.
Do you see? She's a Pygmalion carving her love from the Vex, too obsessed with her sculpture's perfection to see that the flaws lie within herself. She doesn't remember Chioma, no more than she remembers the Golden Age. Their memories clouded by ego and need, far removed from the real. Chioma will die 1,000 deaths before Maya realizes her love is conditional. But perhaps we can find her real Chioma. And she can convince Maya of her error.
Guardian, I hope the helm isn't too crowded. A broad audience would make this difficult. I miss Cade every day of my life. I thought I'd moved on. I was wrong. I can't forget my friend, my teammate, my favorite jerk. Death cuts a wound in the living. It scabs over, but anything can tear it open again. We all bear this wound eventually. The Maya Sundaresh who became the conductor couldn't accept that. She wanted her wife back, no matter how much she hurt Chioma doing it. Her actions were dangerous. Beyond that, they were cruel to the woman she loved. There's nothing I want more than to speak with Cade again. The Pale Heart gave us a second chance. It wasn't enough. The burden of the living is that life continues, despite our grief. Despite those who don't continue with us. It troubled Osiris to see his drive reflected in Maya. I see myself in her grief. I see Zavala. And yet it's not grief we condemn, but her actions. I always find I learn best by teaching. Thank you, Guardian, for being a patient student.
Captain Jacobson has been proposing sweeping policy changes in your absence. I keep an eye on that one.